Well, good evening, guys. Thanks for welcoming me into your home this week. I'm definitely really excited to continue the work we've been doing for the past couple weeks. Um, as always, everything here is confidential. Um, any questions before we begin?
Not that I can think of now.
Okay. Well, let's start with last week. How's the week been? I know we set some goals. I know the two of you, Tracy, Charles, were kind of wanting to work on that communication and get back on the same page in terms of making your decisions and parenting Anna. So, what has the past week been like for you guys?
I just been working a lot. I come home tired, and Anna's just been having the time of her life, having fun, and Tracy doesn't approve of that lifestyle. And she's been mad, very mad the last couple of days.
Okay, Tracy, from your perspective, how has that gone?
I think I've been trying to be supportive as I stay at home, and I do a lot around the house. I don't feel appreciated. I cook lunches, I clean, I get everything ready. I try to have everything ready for you as well. I just don't feel appreciated by that.
Okay. Anna, we want to include you as well. From your perspective, how's this past week been with your parents and that relationship you've been wanting to develop with your mom?
I think it's challenging. I know last week, me and my mom talked about getting closer and working on our relationship, and I, want to have that relationship more so with my mom like I do with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But it is challenging because I feel like we're kind of going back into some of the same patterns. My dad gets home from work and he's tired, and my mom has something to complain about, or she's stressed about her day. And it is kind of discouraging because I know sometimes me and my mom bicker, but sometimes I don't always want to hear about how terrible I am or how much I'm stressing her out. Like, I feel like it'd be easier to work on that relationship with my mom if she didn't have so much to complain about. Sometimes I wish if me and my mom had a disagreement, I wish it was just between us and not my dad involved every time. I think that would help our relationship a lot if we didn't dwell on every little issue so much. And I feel like that would encourage me to be closer with her if it felt like it was more of a relationship with the two of us and not the three of us with everything that we do.
What are some of those issues?
I like to go to my friend's house. I know I got in trouble, for drinking at her house, which I haven't done since. But it is kind of discouraging because I do feel like every time I go to my friend's house, I have been good. I have been coming home. I'm not staying the night. I'm not drinking over there. I'm not doing anything. So I feel like it's kind of discouraging for her to keep bringing that up. So I feel like if she was more trusting, and if I'm showing her that I'm going to my friend's house and not doing anything, I kind of don't want to hear about the past if I'm working, towards gaining her trust. I wish I would just have to stop hearing about, what happened 2 weeks ago.
So it sounds like you feel like you made a lot of progress, and you found more of a balance with hanging out with your friends and kind of engaging in healthier behaviors when you're with them.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, watching TV, and I do feel like I check in with my mom more. So it would be nice if I could come home and not get, nagged at, or my dad, because I feel like I'm doing the behaviors that she wanted from me. So it'd be nice if I came home and she was supportive of that. It would make me want to come home and spend more time with her instead of just going to my room, and then she feels like, oh, I'm hiding things, or I'm acting the same. So I just think it'd be nice if I can come home and she was a little bit more affectionate or trustworthy or trusting of me. I feel like I'd want to spend more time with her.
You don't feel appreciated for the work that you've done.
I don't feel appreciated because I feel like I'm not doing those things, and I keep hearing about them, which is discouraging.
Okay. Tracy, in terms of the progress that you have seen over the past week with Anna's behavior, what are those areas of progress you've seen her make?
I do appreciate that she has been trying to be home more and trying to talk about things, and she's right. She has been improving. She hasn't been trying to sneak around or lie about things. I am finding it hard to build that trust so quickly. It's something I'm working on, but it is hard when there's been so many times in the past that she's slipped up or, done things like that. But it is something that we are trying to work on.
Is there one thing maybe you could highlight this past week that like really you're really proud of, or you can cite as something well she did in terms of her behavior?
I do really appreciate that she has made more of an effort to spend some one-on-one time with me. She has been talking to me about her day more. In the past, it was always kind of hard to watch, where she'd always prefer to talk to her dad. Sometimes it would be hurtful when it seemed like he was always the favorite parent. So working on that and just spending a little more time together has been really nice.
Anna, what did you hear from that? What can you take?
I guess I never really realized how much it bothered her that I was so close with my dad. I don't necessarily compare them. Me and my mom have had our challenges, but it's not to say I don't love my mom just as much as my dad. Sometimes if, me and my dad are more similar, we're kind of laid back. My mom's more like strict. She does worry about things. So I didn't realize that it hurt her feelings so much and that she did want to have a closer relationship with me. So I think it's good that we're kind of on the same page of wanting to, kind of work on our relationship. Because we were a lot closer when I was younger, and it'd be nice to get back to that. And I'm glad she's noticed that I have been trying. I just feel like, everything's so recent. I feel like there's going to be some challenges, but I'm glad we're communicating about it more. And it seems like we're both being mindful of each other's feelings, so that's something new.
Yeah, it's totally normal for there to be frustrations in this process, but it sounds like also there's a lot of progress to be proud of. And I'm glad to see that you guys are both taking steps to improve your relationship. On a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 is where you want your relationship to be perfect. Like, for example, if your relationship with your dad is a 10 out of 10.
That's a 10, yeah.
Where would you say you guys are at right now?
That's a tough one. Maybe like a 6 or a 7. I feel like it's getting there. Like I do feel appreciated by my mom. I feel like she's being more mindful of my feelings and considering me in those big decisions. But I do feel like it's still challenging. And I feel like we're still butting heads. So I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement. But I do feel like we're on the right track. Maybe like a 6 or a 7.
Okay. And what would you need for that relationship to go from a 6 or 7 to maybe like an 8 or a 9?
I think lately we do kind of make decisions together. So like if I go to my friend's house or if I go somewhere after school, I feel like if we communicate and I feel like we're on the same page, it would be like ideal if I come home and then we just have a normal conversation about it, like, hey, how was your time with your friends? Like, do you want dinner? Do you want to watch a movie with me or something? Instead of dwelling on the past, I feel like if we can communicate and come up with a plan together, I kind of wish it would be more positive when I get home from, those said plans, because I feel like I'm doing what we agreed on. So I think just maybe losing some of like the negativity or bringing up the past every time I come home, I think that would make a big difference if, we could avoid some of those big talks just, when I go to my friends for a couple hours.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the path you guys have been on over this past week, if that continues and some of that trust continues to build on both ends, I'm sure that you can take that next step and maybe hit an 8 or a 9 on your relationship scale.
Yeah, I feel like as long as, and I know I'm a big hearted too, so as long as I feel like I'm truthful and I'm not, doing things that bothered her in the past, I feel like if I'm on the right track and she's, I feel like it could definitely get there if we both just kind of nip some of those bad behaviors in the bud.
Tracy, same question, where would you rate your relationship with Hannah at this time?
I agree with what she's saying. I think it has definitely improved quite a lot. Probably maybe like a 7. I know we're still working on the way that we communicate, and I think sometimes my concern can come off as more judgmental than I mean it to. I do see these things out of love. I'm not trying to not have her, have a life or have fun with her friends. I just get so worried that I do sometimes come off as a little bit overprotective, and that is something I am trying to work on.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys are definitely on the same, same page. I can tell there's a lot of love there. I heard it in your message just there. So that is, that's good progress for us to, continue working on over these upcoming sessions we have left together. So, and Charles, let's keep you involved too. How has your past week been, strictly in terms of communication between you and Tracy?
I think it's definitely been improving over the last few weeks. There's not been as much going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
She will approach things differently than just playing the blame game per se. So she'll talk to me and not raise her voice or want to escalate things to a certain point where it's not about what Anna's doing, who she's with, where she's at. It's more of us communicating to understand what Anna's doing in a way to make it so she can do what she wants to do, because she is getting older and we need to trust her more about what she does and going out with friends. And me and Tracy have been getting closer to kind of seeing eye to eye and being more parenting Anna than criticizing both of our opinions and thoughts about it.
Okay. Some definite progress over this past week. Tracy, do you agree with Charles' kind of thoughts over this past week? What do you think about it?
I do agree with that. I think overall, I don't, in the past, sometimes when we were bickering back and forth, I don't think it helps the situation. I definitely think it used to escalate, because then, it felt as if she should choose a side, rather than us, co-parenting and getting along and being, overall just enjoying spending time together as a family. I think it's been helping that we're not bickering.
That's good progress. I'm gonna use the scale again, if you guys are okay with it. When you came in, communication was pretty low. We didn't use any of these scaling questions then. But if you had to rank from when we first started to now, just in terms of communication, same scale, 1 to 10, where do you think you're at, Charles?
I definitely think we came in on the lower end when we first started, but I think over the weeks and coming to each session, it's improved. I would say we're more, not at the level we should be, but we're definitely improving, and you can see that in day-to-day communications and everything. So I would say maybe we're about a 6 or a 7.
Okay. That's definitely up there from where we began. Tracy, what do you think about that?
Agree. I think it's definitely improved. Probably maybe even a 7 or an 8. I think just kind of sitting down and realizing that although we do have really different days, he is at work, and I'm at home, that we both play an important role in the family, and that we all have different, things that we do to help out, and just communicating and respecting each other has made a big difference in our decisions and parenting together.
What do you think we can do this upcoming week? What is a goal you guys would like to kind of set to work on, and maybe bump that up from that 6, 7 to maybe an 8 or a 9 even, if we can?
I think keeping up the communication that we've been doing and listening to each other and thinking about our relationship with Anna as a family. Maybe work on more family gatherings. Maybe Anna doesn't feel like we do enough with each other, and including all of us. So I think that's something that we should start working on and start doing family activities. And I feel like that would not only raise Anna's and Stephanie's level, but it would raise all of our levels to hopefully get to the point where we want to be.
Okay. Do you have any ideas of what you would like to do, for family activities?
Go on some trips. I know Stephanie likes the zoo. And I know Anna also likes doing activities like that and just being out and about, because she doesn't want to be cooped up. She wants to go out and do things people her age want to do. So going out to activities that Stephanie would like, maybe bond with Anna at the same time. And I always say I'm always tired from working and stuff, but I can do better about not making excuses like that and being more involved and not leaving everything to Stephanie, since she does take care of the house and do everything else while I'm gone.
Okay, so So setting the time aside to have more one-on-one time and overall family time.
Yes.
Okay. How important is that to you?
I think it's very important because it's shown that clearly I haven't been doing a good job about that, and it shows Stephanie's attitude will show towards that, showing that something needs to be fixed on my end, and nothing can be fixed if I don't fix it. 'Cause then Stephanie's just gonna feel unappreciated, and by the end of the day, that will rub off on him, and that's why she might act out on occasions towards her mom more than me.
So when you hear him kind of saying like he feels like he hasn't been doing a good job, how do you view it?
I do know that he does have a busy schedule, and I do really appreciate all the hard work that he puts in to keep our family, comfortable and living a good life. I do appreciate that he does realize that he doesn't always set time aside. I think it has made a huge difference for him doing that, and I think that is something definitely that we could work on in the next couple weeks. We've also talked about, including Anna and her friends like we used to. I know when I was younger, my mom would always take us, me and my friends, to either the movies or out to dinner and just visit and, really try to be close with our friends. And I do think that kids make mistakes, and judging her friends based on a few mistakes that they've made in the past isn't fair. So I think it would be nice if we, reached out to them and see if they would be interested in hanging out with us together.
Anna, how does that sound to you?
I think that would be nice. Growing up, I was always closest, with both my parents, and it was the fun house where all my friends would come over and we'd do group activities. But as I got older, it was kind of unfortunate. Like my mom didn't like my friends would drink or do things like get in trouble at school. Which overall my friends are pretty good. We do really well in school. We have extracurricular activities. So I think it'd be cool if we could include my especially my best friend in some of our family activities. Because that was always important to me growing up, and I think it would be nice. Of course, I'd want to spend more time with my family if my friend was included. I wouldn't feel the need to go over there so much. So I think that would be nice if we could start doing more things together like we used to.
That sounds like a really good idea. Definitely sounds like you guys are gonna be able to bond over that. For sure. How does that make you feel when you hear her say that? By bringing her friend around, she will want to spend more family time with you guys.
That does make me really happy to hear that. It means a lot to me, not only that we're getting closer, but just in general being able to kind of understand more about her, and I want her to want to be comfortable bringing her friends around and spending more time with us. I think that sounds great.
Good. Charles?
I think I would agree with what Stephanie has to say. I think bringing her friends along would help out, and it's always good to not only spend time with your parents but also spend time with your friends, and bringing them both worlds together might help out the relationship more than hurt it.
Yeah, relationships are definitely very important, and it sounds like you guys are all on the same page with that, whether it be a friend or your family. So, all right. Our time is coming to an end here. Just want to prepare you in the next minute or so. Is there anything else that has been kind of troubling you guys over this past week? Any new goals to work on?
I think some of the things I shared in the first couple of sessions we had. I do feel like a lot of times the problem with my parents is me, because a lot of times they fight over me. So I'm glad we're all kind of getting along better, but I feel like, I have put a strain on my parents' relationship. So I'm kind of hoping, over time, they will go back to how they were, because growing up they were always really affectionate with each other. They would have fun date nights and, just do a lot of things together. While me and my siblings did, and hung out with our grandparents and stuff. So I'm hoping, now that we're kind of settling into a routine and, we worked on our relationship, I'm hoping to see my parents, happy again, kind of back to where they started before I started getting in trouble and, we started fighting. So that would be nice to kind of see as well. Because of course I want my parents to be happy, So that's something I'd kind of like to see.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say to what Anna just said? There were a lot of kind of strong messages there, such as she feels like she put a burden on your guys' relationship, and she wants to see you guys get back to that happy level you once were. What do you think when you hear her talk about those topics?
Just thinking that she thinks that she's the problem shows that we're not doing the best job as parents, because we shouldn't have our child thinking that she's the problem and why her parents are having problems, because that's just not gonna help anybody out. And at the end of the day, I think that can open up the eyes for me and Stephanie to realize that we're not doing the best parenting that we could, and that we need to improve in order to help Hannah improve, because she looks up to what her parents do, and if we act out, she's gonna think that what we're doing is okay when it's not.
So it sounds like you don't think that Hannah's the problem, and you're kind of taking on some of that blame.
I think we each all have different issues that we need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that we're all the problem. I think everything kind of all combines into one, and each person shouldn't be blamed to have the entire blame. I think we all have a portion of the issues that need to be fixed, and the only way to fix that is all of us working as a family instead of singling each other out or saying one person takes more of the blame than the other.
And I would definitely agree with you. It's not about blame. As humans, we are, naturally imperfect. But you can see from just being here that this is important to you. And you all want to kind of work on that same goal of, establishing communication and improving your relationships. So I don't see any of you as the problem, the person to blame. I think you just all, have a part to play in this family. And, I think you are on the right track moving forward. Tracy, did you have any closing thoughts?
I just want Anna to know that she's never been a burden when we love her very much. We all have very different communication styles, just personality differences, but I think as a family, we've definitely had some fun times, and we want to get back to that, and have just less stressful, working on how we communicate, and maybe taking a step back when we're frustrated with each other. Sometimes people say things that you can't take back, when you're angry or defensive, and we just need to be more patient with you. And I think that would help some of the conflicts that we have. Because, as parents, we should be more calm and not escalate to that point. We should be more understanding that, as a kid, you do make mistakes, and that's okay.
That was a really, really nice message. I think this is a good place to end for the night. I think we already have a few more sessions scheduled. So I will check here in a minute. But thank you for inviting me in for this home session. A little different venue, but I hope we were all comfortable here. And I will speak with you all next week.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.